Happy New Year.
You also, Ms. Lopez.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Good to see you, Mr. Howard.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Hi, Officer Milton, how are you today?
I'm well, sir. I have a couple of announcements.
Okay,
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Position 1 and position 14, they are on quarantine until the 26th. Position 14,
1 and 14, and they're on quarantine until the 25th. Is that what you said?
yes, position 1 is on quarantine till the 22nd. Position 6, I'm sorry, position 14 is on quarantine till the 25th. The rest of them, position 6, 26, 27, and 29, they are in the vicinity of those that has COVID, but they have not been tested positive. But what I would like to do is bring, like, for example, the G-Pod, there's 2 ladies in the G-Pod, I will bring them together, but I will not mix them with the E-Pod. So that way I will keep the pods them separate and so nobody will get contaminated.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Let's see, while we're speaking of that position 1, who's representing Mr. Ailes?
Judge, I'm representing Ms. Ailes, and we can, yes, Judge, we can proceed. Just have a bond request on her, and I anticipated it might be an issue, knowing what's going on in South Annex, so I can proceed on the bond with her without her being present. And I can send that over now that I know she's not going to be coming.
Okay, and what about position 14?
Unfortunately, Judge, that was supposed to be a plea. I met with her, and I don't know, Ms. Milton, is there any way she could be brought maybe later by herself or anything like that? Or
I'll do that. I'll bring her by herself.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So where would you all like to start this morning?
7 South, position 11.
Yes. And this is going to be a plea, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Everett. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar. We are conducting this calendar today by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Was that a yes? I'm sorry. Mr.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Everett. Mr. Long,
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
good morning.
This will be 12 months to serve, confined 180 days, credit for time served 127 days, balance probated, MHET, no further violent contact with Brian Bush. Brian is B-R-I-A-N, Bush is common spelling. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, 60 hours of community service, and 12-week anger management.
Is this your case, Mr. Howard? Or is this Mr. McLean? Is this your case?
Oh, I'm
Is this
sorry.
you?
I was
Yes.
on mute. Yes, it's mine, Your Honor.
Okay.
He has filled out the paperwork of the plea and verdict sheet and the plea statement sheet, and I've signed with his permission. I will click on the email to forward that as soon as he wants to go forward. I believe he does.
All right. And it's my understanding that this is negotiated. Is that correct, Mr. McLean?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Everett, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to simple battery. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Everett. Good luck to you, sir.
Sir, guys, of course, sir.
Say it again.
I got a release date for February the 1st. Would I still be out on that release date?
Mr. McLean, did you hear that?
This particular plea is amounting to a time served.
Okay,
as the time. That's on something else he's asking about.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. Who do we have next?
We got position number 12, Mr. Alex Floyd, sir. Position number 12 in courtroom 2.
Okay.
That's also fine.
Good morning, Mr. Floyd. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good morning, yes, sir.
Good morning. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Floyd? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Mr. Long?
Thank you, Your Honor. This will be 12 months to serve, confined 30 days, credit for time served 18 days, balance probated, theft awareness class, 40 hours of community service, stay away from Chevron gas station at 556 Northside Drive, Southwest Atlanta. No drugs or alcohol. All counts will be concurrent. There is restitution. We do have an estimate, but I could not get confirmation from the victim gas station before today's hearing. The estimate is $546.16. But again, we were not able to get a confirmation from them. So we would ask that restitution be determined at a later date.
I'm gonna let that go through a civil process. If they want restitution and you don't have it here for us today, I'm not gonna accept a plea from him, not knowing if he's gonna pay $546 or if he's gonna be paying $1,000. I don't think that's fair to him. So I'll allow that to go through a civil process if they want to recoup that from him. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, that is also a negotiated plea, and I am about to click on forwarding the completed papers. There we go. So we would ask the court to accept that plea.
Okay, Mr. Floyd, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and damage to property, theft by shoplifting, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I will accept the plea as negotiated. How long do you think it's going to take him to do this 40 hours in theft class? Mr. McLean, I didn't hear any request as to what happens after he's completed these tasks, or with regard to anything else.
It will take a couple of months, Your Honor. We would ask the court to consider giving him a break on probation fees to get him through that, and it will cost him to get through that theft class as well.
And in regards to once he completes,
We would ask him to go to a terminated or non-reporting probation once, preferably a terminated probation once he completes. This was rather singular episode as opposed to an ongoing thing in his life.
Do you have any objection to termination, Mr. Long, once the terms of probation are completed?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to waive 3 months of probation fees for you, Mr. Floyd. That'll help you get and stay on your feet and Hopefully you'll get through the theft class and the community service in that 3-month period of time, and no additional fees will accrue for you. Once you complete the terms of the probation, it's going to terminate, okay?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So the sooner you get that done, the sooner you won't be on probation.
All right.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Floyd.
Thank you. We got position number 16, Mr. Dustin Jones, position number 16. Come on. When I call your name, you gotta come up to the chair.
This is also a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Jones. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited. This is the state all-purpose calendar. We are conducting this calendar by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand, Mr. Jones?
Put it up, put it up.
You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Jones. Mr. Long?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is 12 months to serve, confined 30 days, credit for time served 16 days, balance suspended. Stay away from 1544 Piedmont Avenue Northeast, which is a public supermarket.
Good morning, Mr. Coleman. Is this your case?
Yes, it is. Good morning, Your Honor. We'd ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated. We will stipulate to a factual basis as well as venue and ID.
Mr. Jones, it's my understanding you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation? You've been represented by a lawyer, Mr. Jones. Are you happy with what he's done for you?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury. You don't want a jury trial, do you, Mr. Jones?
I was pleading guilty.
Right. You don't want a jury trial, do you?
No.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty to this charge?
No.
Okay, I'm going to accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Jones. You understand you can't go back to that Publix grocery store. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Jones.
Is it time, sir? Yes.
Yes, sir.
We got position number 19, Mr. Timothy Jones, position number 19.
Good morning, Mr. Jones. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. You can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Jones. You can not sound the charge, Mr. Long.
Thank you, Your Honor. This will be 12 months to serve, confined 30 days, credit for time served 19 days, balance suspended, stay away all MARTA, counts 1 and 2 are concurrent.
Mr. Coleman.
Your Honor, we would ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated. We will stipulate to a factual basis as well as venue and ID. I'd like to know the duration of the stay away from MARTA.
Well, the balance is suspended for the remainder of the 12 months. So during that time frame, as well as any potential suspensions that MARTA has independent.
Does
Thank you.
MARTA have any independent suspensions for Mr. Jones?
There was an active MARTA suspension at the time of the incident on December 31st, but I don't know when it began.
So when can he, just so we have a date, when can he go back to MARTA?
After the remainder of the year is done.
Which is when?
Let's see, credit for time. Be 11 months from now.
I don't want to put him
That's pretty long.
I don't want to put him in a place of peril. I need a date specific.
Let's just say December 18th, 2022.
Mr. Coleman?
I prefer that it not be that long, but again, we would ask that the plea go forward.
So the offense date I have down is December 31st of last year. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Um,
And just to be clear, there is no ban or restriction for MARTA at this time.
There had been one previous. Is that right?
Yes, at the time of the incident, there was an active MARTA suspension.
And that suspension has since subsided. Is that right?
That I do not know. That was a MARTA suspension. I'm not sure of the dates involved with that.
All right, I'm going to have the suspension go through December 18th, 2022. Any objections to that?
No objection.
Okay. Mr. Jones, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to a misdemeanor offense and also criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
no,
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
yeah,
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
no,
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
yeah,
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Jones. You know, just so you know, you cannot go back to MARTA until December 18th of 2022. You understand that?
yeah.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Jones.
Hey, excuse me.
Yes.
So I leave today, right?
It's
You
a time,
should be released today. I don't think you have anything else holding you.
All right.
and just to make note, Mr. Coleman, I have on my sheet that there was 40 hours of community service, but the negotiated plea did not include the 40 hours of community service. That's correct, Mr. Long?
That's correct.
All right. Good
I
luck
just
to
want
you.
to ask, do you have my plea sheets with you?
No, when you can't, oh, no.
Jan, do you have my plea
Oh.
forms with you?
I don't have any forms. Do you have, Ms. Middlebrooks is here with me today. Do we have Mr. Coleman's plea sheets? Who did you send them to, Mr. Coleman?
They're in my office. I'll have them sent down.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We got position number 23 and position number 24, Mr. Moss.
Good morning, Mr. Moss. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar. We are conducting this calendar today by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Moss. Ms. Duncan, good morning. Is this your case or these
Good
your cases?
morning, good morning, Your Honor. Yes, these are my cases.
Okay, you can proceed.
Okay, for position 23, the state is recommending 12 months to serve, 120 days, credit for time served 19 days, no further contact with Lakeisha Smith or her child, S. Britt, and stay away from the incident location or wherever the victim and her child reside, 12-week anger management, balance probated, and 50 hours of community service. For position 24, we have 12 months to serve, 120 days, credit for time served 19 days, no further contact with Lakeisha Smith, balance probated, stay away from her, 50 hours of community service.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding that these sentences are to be concurrent. We would ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated. We would stipulate to a factual basis as well as venue and ID. We will request that the probation fees be waived for a period of 3 to 6 months and that the probation go non-reporting once Mr. Moss has completed the anger management classes.
Given the nature of the charges, I'm not so inclined to let it go to a non-reporting status, I'm going to want him to report the entire time, but I'll waive the fees over those 12 months to help him get and stay on his feet, okay?
Thank you.
Mr. Moss, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to battery and battery substantial physical harm. Is that correct?
Sir.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the pleas as negotiated. Given that you're going to be on probation the entire time, I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you, Mr. Moss.
Position number 2. Hey, Your Honor, quick question.
Yeah.
Do you have a Spanish interpreter available today? Because I have 2.
I also have one that needs a Spanish interpreter.
Mr. Jordan, has a Spanish interpreter been requested? Mr. Jordan, are you there? Okay, I'll make note of that, and when Mr. Jordan returns, I'll see if we have an interpreter available today. Mr. Long and Ms. Duncan, Mr. Long, can you come back on for a second? Would you do me a favor, as you're presenting, just so for the record, would you put down the case number and the charge for me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Each one so that the record is clear on these. All right, I appreciate it. Who do we have in courtroom 2 now?
We have position number 25, Mr. Kevin Mott.
Good morning, Mr. Mott. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Mott, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hands down. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. This is case number 22 CR 00028G, and the charges are giving false information to law enforcement officer, obstruction of law enforcement officer, and criminal trespass. The state is recommending time served, credit for time served, 17 days, balance probated, 20 hours community service, and a stay away from the incident location.
Which is where?
One moment, please. One second, Your Honor, I'm scrolling. The incident location was 1079 North Avenue, Northeast.
All right, thank you, Ms. Duncan. Any objection to termination once the 20 hours of community service are completed?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, we would ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated. We will stipulate to a factual basis as well as venue and ID.
Mr. Mott, it's my understanding you wish to plead guilty to giving false information to a law enforcement officer, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty to these charges?
No.
I'll accept your negotiated guilty, please, Mr. Mott. I'm going to waive the fees for you while you're on probation. And once you complete the 20 hours of community service, your probation will terminate. So the sooner you get the 20 hours done, the sooner you'll be off probation, okay?
All right.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Mott.
Now, position number 34, Mr. Christopher Crosser.
And I see that we do have a Spanish interpreter on the line, so at the appropriate time, we can go to a breakout. I take it that council is going to need a breakout room for Madam Interpreter. Is that right, Mr. Coleman? Ms. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Diaz's English is passably good, so we might need the interpreter, but I'd be glad to see how we do in a breakout room for a moment.
Yeah, I will need a breakout room for Mr. Maya.
Okay, so at the appropriate time, I'll send you into a breakout room with the interpreter. Good morning, Madam Interpreter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is position 34. I have down it's going to be a plea also. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
Good morning, Mr. Prosser. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good morning. Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Prosser, to the best of your ability? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Hi, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor, this is case number 22 CR 0000010A. The charges are criminal trespass and damage to property. The state is recommending 12 months to serve, 38 days, credit for time served, 19 days, a stay away from the incident location, which is 235 High Creek Drive. We are also requesting no further contact with the victim in this case, balance probated, a theft class, and 20 hours of community service.
Who is the victim?
The victim in this case is Glenara Pemberton. That's Glenara. Pemberton is Pemberton.
All right, thank you, Ms. Duncan. Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, I think I was a little quicker on the keyboard just now, and Your Honor and counsel for the state should have the paperwork in front of it now. We would ask the court to accept this plea. It is negotiated, and because he's taking a theft class and he'll be on probation, he's going to do some community service, we would ask the court to consider giving him a break on probation fees initially. We would also ask the court to consider, having read the police report, had to do with falling through the roof of a garage or carport separate from the residence while walking on top of it. We would ask the court to consider terminating the probation at the end of his completion of the theft class and the community service.
Any objection to termination, Ms. Duncan?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Prosser, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and damage to property. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept your guilty plea as negotiated, Mr. Prosser. I'm going to waive your fees while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And as soon as you complete the theft class and the 20 hours of community service, then the probation will terminate, okay?
Thank you.
All right, so the sooner you get it done, the sooner you'll be off probation.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you, sir.
We're at position 35 and position 36, Mr. John Terrace Robeson.
This is going to be a bond hearing.
Your Honor, his is a bond request today because of his particular situation.
Okay, and he is going to need to be arraigned today also. Is that correct, Mr. McLean?
We can waive the formal reading and I'll make sure that either I or someone within 10 days files motions for him in an entry. He has been, I have shown him the accusations.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Roberson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Roberson? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Mr. Roberson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000041G with simple battery family violence, and you've been charged in case 22 CR 000043G with battery family violence. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. It's my understanding that you're waiving formal reading of the accusations. Is that correct, Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Roberson, how do you plead to these charges? Guilty or not guilty? It's my understanding that you're going to plead not guilty to these charges today, Mr. Roberson. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we'll record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. In regards to bond on the cases, I set bond on both these cases on January 5th.
Here's the information that he's given me on the bond.
Hold on, Mr. McLean. I just want to get this on the record.
Sure.
The bonds are a $2,000 surety on each charge with no further violent contact provision. One for Ms. Williams and another for Ms. Riley. Go ahead, Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry for the interruption. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond or a substantial reduction in the existing bond on these cases. He is facing a felony probation revocation, and he is hopeful that he will do well in that hearing. He has a hold or two, and will address those cases. He is pleading not guilty in these, and I've talked to his family. They're trying to communicate with the lawyer that they have hired. There's been some communication problems, I believe. So he's asking the court to give him a break on these particular misdemeanor bonds while he deals with the other matters, and he feels that he will do well in those matters.
When is the probation revocation hearing set for?
I don't have a date.
Okay, bring him back after the probation revocation hearings and the felony cases, and I will reconsider modification of these bonds at that time. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So you can just bring him back to a SAP calendar if you like at some point in the future after the probation revocation. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Roberson.
All right.
Position number 37, Mr. Michael Sims.
I'm sorry. Tell me again where we are.
Position number 37, Michael Sims.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. I understand that this is a private attorney, Carlton Matthews, on this case. Is that correct or not?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Matthews on the line? Have we, Mr. Jordan, do you know if we've heard anything from Mr. Matthews? All right, let's go to someone else until we can determine who counsel for this case is.
Yeah, this is
Position number 38, Mr. Ricky Smith.
Somebody was trying to get in.
Beg your pardon, Your Honor. This is Attorney Tom Ford. Would you like for me to reach out to Mr. Matthews and make him aware of his client's appearance on his calendar?
Yeah, that'd be great, Mr. Ford. I appreciate that.
The client that I've got on today's calendar is Kendriel Crosby, 19-001-0234H. I don't see his name on the calendar, and I'd love to message for Mr. Jordan as well in that regard. But I'm going to put on pause and contact Mr. Matthews and let him know. What is the name of his client on this calendar, Your
Honor? It is
Michael Sims.
Michael Sims.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll report back shortly. Thank you.
All right, and try to get in touch with Mr. Jordan again as far as your case goes if he's not on the calendar, so we can direct you. Okay.
Will do, Your Honor. Likewise. Thank you.
Your Honor, this is South Ennis. Can we do position 40, Ms. Kilball, so I can take her back and then bring the other two ladies? That I'll be going back and forth.
All right, and this is what
Position 14. Ms. Diamond Pearson.
I believe she's 29, position 29.
29, I'm sorry, 29. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Kelbaugh. How are you today?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm well. I am emailing the paperwork. I signed the paperwork on Ms. Pearson's behalf with her permission, and she and I have just we've gone over all of the questions on there, and I'm confident that she understands her rights.
This is going to be a negotiated plea?
This is a negotiated plea, and she would like to plead guilty under Alford versus North Carolina.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Pearson. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Please, you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. This is case number 21 CR 007238B, and the charge is battery. The state is recommending 12 months to serve, 96 days, credit for time served, 48 days, no further contact with Yaris Lockett, balance probated, 40 hours of community service, and an 8-week anger management.
All right, just so my calendar says this is 21 CR 007234B.
Yes.
Okay. I believe you said 8B, so just want to
My apologies.
All right. Mr. Kelbaugh?
Your Honor, this I could be short and just say we'd ask you to accept it as negotiated. I do feel I need to say on behalf of Ms. Pearson, she's asking to plead under Alford versus North Carolina. She's been in jail for 48 days already. She's 17 years old. She has no prior convictions, but she wants to get this handled. Her family was not able to afford to bond her out. She wants to take responsibility for the poor decisions that she did make that have led her to wind up in this situation. So she would just ask that you accept the plea as negotiated.
All right. What are the facts, Ms. Duncan? I believe that I've heard this case before at SCA calendar. I just want to make sure.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, Ms. Pearson was a part of a group who violently attacked Ms. Yaris Lockett. Ms. Lockett did not know any of the perpetrators of this assault. They attacked her while they were out at an event after coming from the bathroom. The altercation was initiated by Ms. Shanteria Stokes. The other parties are Shanteria Stokes, Jaden Richmond, and Japrice Mayo. Ms. Lockett stated that she didn't know any of them, and they began to attack her after coming from the bathroom and smoking.
it was my understanding that Ms. Pearson's in school somewhere in the area. Is that right?
She's from Jacksonville, Florida, Your Honor, which is why I believe that is the most significant factor of why she was not given a signature bond. She is enrolled in community college in Florida, I believe.
Can you make sure for me, Mr. Calbar?
Ms. Pearson, are you enrolled in community college?
Yes, sir. FSCJ, Florida State College.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Duncan, Mr. Calbar?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. I remember this case from the SEA calendar. I believe that 48 days in custody is enough time for this charge, especially for first offense. So I'm not going to require her to do 40 hours of community service or 8 weeks of anger management. I am going to require that she stay in school, though. So the balances are going to be suspended. All right. So that's going to be the order of the court. I don't take it that you're going to have any objection to that, Mr. Calbar.
No, Your Honor. I would just, I know this is it's mooted because of Your Honor's sentence, but when I filled out the paperwork, I mistaken. The agreement was, as Ms. Duncan had said, which was the 40 hours in the anger management. And I neglected to put that on the plea paperwork, but obviously that's a moot point given Your Honor's sentence.
Okay. All right. And I will accept the offered plea also.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Pearson, it's my understanding that you wish to plead offer to battery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury, and that by pleading offered, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead offered?
No, sir.
I'll accept your offer, plea, Ms. Pearson. The sentence is going to be 12 months to serve, 96 days, credit for time served, 48 days, balance suspended. But I'm also going to require that you stay in school, okay?
Yes, sir, I will.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Pearson.
Thank you. You too.
That concludes my business, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes. Have a good day, Mr. Calbar.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do we have next?
Position number 38, Mr. Ricky Smith.
Good morning, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar. We're conducting this calendar today by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, this case is case number 22 CR 000092H. The charges are simple assault and obstruction of law enforcement officer. The state is recommending 12 months to serve, 26 days, credit for time served, 13 days, no further contact with David White, balance suspended for the simple assault, and for the obstruction, we're recommending time served, balance probated, 10 hours of community service.
What was the obstruction?
The obstruction was, let me make sure before I say, one moment. Yes. The obstruction was becoming combative with an officer while attempting to detain him.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Duncan. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, it is a negotiated plea, and we would ask the court to accept it. We would ask that on the one of the two counts that involves probation, we would ask the court to terminate the probation at the end of his only condition, which is the 10 hours of community service. He should be able to do that very quickly. We would ask the court to consider waiving a month of probation fee, because probation fee of $49 a month is for any month or portion thereof, he should be able to knock that 10 hours out in the first week that he is released.
Any objection to termination, Ms. Duncan?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to simple assault and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, no.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I will accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Smith. I'm going to waive your fees while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And as soon as you complete the 10 hours of community service, the probation will terminate. So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you'll be off probation, okay?
Yes, sir. I got you a question tomorrow.
You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you, Mr. Smith, but if it's up to Mr. McLean, he wants to ask a question.
I can get in a breakout room with him real quick if you'd like to have a question answered.
Is it something that has to do with this case,
I was
Mr.
just
Smith?
asking when do I go home, sir? That's it.
Oh, okay. So you're basically getting time served, Mr. Smith. So as soon as if you don't have anything else holding you, as soon as you get processed out by the jail there, you're gonna be leaving unless you have a hold for some other reason that I don't know about. Okay.
And I don't see a hold. And let me mention to probation, the emergency contact with the phone number is on the face of the booking sheet. While I will attempt to, as soon as court's over with, I've already forwarded the plea paperwork to the court and to the prosecutor. But as soon as I work on the intake sheet for probation information, it'll contain that same emergency contact. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir. Mr. Ford, are you back with us?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
I see that your client, I have you down as in position number 8. Is your client Kendria Crosby?
Yes, Your Honor. Bless you. Thank you. I must have gotten on late. Beg your pardon.
Okay, no, we don't call a calendar in this court. We just whoever the jail brings forward. And so is that your only client on today's calendar?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, we'll get to her in turn, okay?
All right, very well.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome. Who do we have next?
We have position number 40, Mr. Michael Whitaker.
This is also going to be a negotiated plea, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Whitaker. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Whitaker? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. This is case number 21 CR 0078887Y. The charge is battery, family violence, first offense misdemeanor, and criminal trespass. The state is recommending for the battery, family violence, 12 months to serve, 30 days, credit for time served, 5 days, balance probated, family violence intervention program, no further contact with Kamen Portier. That's KAMENPOITIER, third party child contact. For the criminal trespass, we're recommending 12 months to serve, credit for time served, 5 days, balance suspended, and a stay away from the incident location.
Which is where?
The incident location is, one second, Your Honor.
My name's Carmen Portier, K-A-R.
Hold on, Mr. Whitaker.
Okay, it's 7882 Senoia Road, I believe, SENOIA in Fairborn, Georgia, 30213.
All right, Mr. McLean.
Right, that address is the hotel. And it is Carmen with a Karmen, Whitaker, is the victim on the spelling. We would ask the court to accept the negotiated plea. He and I discussed the burdens of the FVIP, that it is a full 24 weeks long. It is rather expensive. We discussed the extra jail days that would be involved in this plea. And we would ask the court to give him a break on probation fees because that FVIP costs hundreds of dollars, and to terminate his probation if possible upon completion of that FVIP, which is his condition.
Mr. Whitaker, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept your guilty pleas, Mr. Whitaker, as they were negotiated. I am going to waive your probation fees while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. You're gonna be on probation for the entire time, so I'll waive the fees for you during that time. Good luck to you, Mr. Whitaker.
One question, sir. Did you know who will be representing me on the rest of my cases?
I don't know anything about the rest of your cases, Mr. Whitaker. Do you, Mr. McLean?
No, Your Honor, we have discussed the possibilities of when the release would be. I know the jail is going through a bit of a delay. Sometimes it's an extra day, but on anything else, I'd have to go back to his booking sheet.
Okay.
Thank you.
What do we have next?
Your Honor, we're going to go to position number 41 and 42, Mr. Yarbrough. And to address Tom Ford's, Mr. Crosby, position number 8, he was released on January 12th.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
All right, I appreciate y'all's time. Now, well, I've got you on the phone. I assume that there's an address that he provided when released. I just want, this client was at one point in Benchmore status. I want to circle back and just make sure, because the family did not contact me subsequent to his release. Was he released to another facility? Was there a hold somewhere else?
He probably was. I'm not sure, Tom. You can call extension 32050. That's central control. They can
Let me
actually
just get that down. I beg your pardon. Yes, sir. Well, I'm sorry. Where's that number again, my friend?
That's going to be 404.
Yes, sir.
613-2050. And
all right, thank you all. Thank you all for your indulgence, Your Honor. God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Who do we have in courtroom 2 now? I'm sorry.
And this is position 41 and 42, Mr. Keith Yarbrough.
Okay. And these are negotiated pleas.
They are.
Good morning, Mr. Yarbrough. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your cases heard by video?
I do.
Can you raise your right hand to the best of your ability? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Yarbrough. Ms. Duncan, you can waive sounding of the charges.
Okay, this is case number 21 CR 007831C. These for position 41, the state is recommending 12 months to serve, 60 days, credit for time served, 29 days, balance probated, stay away from all MARTA, no further contact with Milashay, that's MALISHAY Towns, and SDET. For position 42, that's case number 21 CR 007832C. Would you like me not to sound that charge as well?
Yes, please don't. Go ahead.
well, the state is recommending time served 29 days, stay away from all MARTA, no further contact with Elise Brightwell. Elise is ALIZE, Brightwell is BRIGTHWELL, and balance suspended.
So you want him to serve another day or so on the first charge, but you want him to be released on the second charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. McLean?
We didn't know if that extra day was a glitch or if it was just a point they were making or an incorrect calculation, and it was not a real huge thing, but it was, I believe, a day or half a day, the way it would count. Your Honor, we would ask the court to accept the plea. We discussed the elements. The SDET in particular is very, very expensive. He understands all the conditions and would ask the court to accept that and allow him to ask the court to waive probation fees because of the expense of the other. There is a lead on trying to get a less expensive source for that. He's going to try to go the less expensive way. But we would ask the court to waive the probation fees and to put him on termination of the probation as soon as he gets that done. Hopefully there won't be any T as part of the E.
All right. Mr. Yarborough, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor offenses. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
I do.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I will accept the guilty pleas as negotiated, Mr. Yarborough. I'm going to waive the probation fees for you while you're on probation and help you stay on your feet, okay?
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Yarborough.
Your Honor, the South Annex, I have position 27 before you, Ms. Mai Nguyen. And also I have position 27 here too.
Hold on, Milton. Your Honor, can we go into a breakout room? Whoever's representing the one that Ms. Milton said, we can go to the other attorney so we can do a breakout room so we can keep it moving.
Okay, so who needs a breakout room?
Position number 20, Mr. Meyer.
Position 20. Okay. And who's
Your Honor,
representing?
that would be my client with the Spanish interpreter.
Okay, thank you, Courtroom Two, for letting us know. So let's go in with Mr. Coleman and Madam Interpreter.
In Courtroom Two.
To Courtroom Two. Okay, Mr. Jordan, are you there?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, thank you. And who's representing Ms. Nguyen?
Judge, come on.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Howard. Good morning, Ms. Nguyen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar. We are conducting this calendar, good morning, today by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I'm back in the main room. Could I be sent again, please?
Okay.
You should be able to see a link back on the bottom that says join the room.
Yes, I did click the blue one, but I'm here
Still want us
again.
back in? Hold on, I'll have to
Yes.
close it and send everybody back again. Hold on a second.
And then I jump in, then I take them back, so I'll mix the parts again.
All right, so Ms. Nguyen, it's my understanding that you do agree to have your case heard by video, is that right? Yes?
Remember Ms. Nguyen? Yes, Ms. Nguyen, remember we talked about this, you will be on video.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me, Ms. Nguyen? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Let's see, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor. This is case number 22 CR 0000507B, and the charges are obstruction of a law enforcement officer and criminal trespass. The state is recommending for the obstruction, time served. For the criminal trespass, we're also recommending time served. Credit for time served for both is 18 days. A stay away from the incident location, which is the Children's Hospital of Atlanta or Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at 35 Jesse Hill Drive, Jesse Hill Junior Drive, Atlanta, Georgia 30303, and balance suspended.
Mr. Howard?
Yes, Judge, that's our understanding of the plea negotiation. We stipulate the venue and ID. We'd ask that you accept the pleas negotiated.
Ms. Nguyen, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to obstruction of a law enforcement officer.
Guilty.
Hold on, and criminal trespass, is that right?
Right.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by Mr. Howard. Are you happy with his representation?
Yeah.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yeah.
You don't want a jury trial, do you?
No.
Has anybody forced you to plead guilty?
No.
Okay, I'll accept your plea, Ms. Nguyen, as negotiated. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Good luck, Ms. Nguyen. All right.
Come on, Ms. Tina. Position 27 is next, Your Honor.
Hello. Okay, I thought that was position 27.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry. It's 26, Your Honor.
36, okay.
26. 26.
26, okay. Okay, 26. Is this also going to be a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Pronounce your last name for me, ma'am. Good morning. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I do.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, ma'am?
Sure.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hands down. Thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. This is case number 21 CR 005172F, and the charges are battery, obstruction of law enforcement officer, and simple battery. The state is recommending time served, credit for time served 106 days, balance suspended.
Judge, yes, Judge, we'd ask that you accept the pleas negotiated. We stipulate the venue and ID.
It's my understanding, ma'am, that you wish to plead guilty to battery, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and simple battery. Is that correct?
I do.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
I apologize, Judge. I thought we would need to merge the simple battery, Miss Duncan. If she's entering a plea to the battery, so I believe it's the same person involved. It's not a different individual. So would the state be merging that simple battery into the battery?
One moment. Yes, it's the same person. It's Miss Sanders. So the state is amenable to that. One moment. Let me make sure. Yes, the state is amenable to the merge.
So she'll be pleading guilty to battery and obstruction. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, ma'am, it's my understanding that you'll be, you wish to plead guilty to battery and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
All right.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
I'm not.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
I am.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
I do.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor, I'm gonna leave and take these two ladies back, and I'm gonna bring back position number 6. And the last person, after I finish with position 6, I will go back and get Miss position 14.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Right, so we will be in recess until, we have somebody at 3 South, good.
Yeah,
Who do we
Judge.
have?
I have position 32, position 32.
Who's representing Mr. Posey?
McLean?
I do, Your Honor. Let me unmute. Yes.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Posey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is a state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good morning, Judge Morrow. God bless you in a mighty way, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Posey?
Yes, sir.
You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, my Lord, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, this is case number 22 CR 00055F. The charge is simple battery, and the state is recommending 12 months to serve, 120 days, credit for time served, 14 days, balance suspended. No further contact with MD Saiful, that's Saiful, Islam, common spelling, Khan, and that's Khan. Stay away from the incident location, 100 hours community service, and 12-week anger management. The incident location is, 1 second.
Oh, it's a Texaco at 635 Lindbergh.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, we discussed everything in the visit, and I have submitted the paperwork by email. He asked the court to accept his negotiated plea, but asked the court to waive probation fees because he will be taking that anger management class that will cost him some money, and he'll be doing quite a bit of community service. And he and I discussed the extra days, and he understands that.
Okay. Mr. Posey, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to simple battery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And this, I'm gonna be on probation, right?
Yes, that's
okay. That's fine. Yes.
After the extra days, you'll be on probation.
Well, extra days.
Yes, sir. We discussed that at the visit in the visitation booth.
Yeah.
You remember the calculation of the 46 extra days?
Yeah, I told you I wanted probation.
Right?
Yeah.
If that's not your understanding, we can go into a breakout room. That would be fine.
So what now?
If your understanding was not that it will be 46 extra days before your probation starts, you and I should go into a breakout room, Mr. Posey.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you was gonna give me the probation.
Yes,
So
we discussed that. We'd like a breakout room.
No, that's all right. I mean,
I think it might be best. We've talked before, and we can.
I'm gonna take care of it. So I got 46 extra days.
Correct. We did talk that over, Mr. Posey.
Yeah, we did. I misunderstood. That's all right. So I'm gonna do 46 more days.
And 100 hours of community service and anger management.
Is he in for something else, Mr. McLean?
Let me see if I have that booking sheet, Your Honor. If not, I can easily quickly get the Odyssey up on the booking sheet. Let me take a look.
Ms. Harrison, good morning.
That's fine.
Good morning, Judge.
Can you give me Mr. Posey's history, please?
That's
One moment.
fine.
Hold on for you, Mr. Posey.
Here we go. My Odyssey
Your Honor,
is full.
DCIC indicate 97 cycles. Last arrest was September of 2021 for simple assault and disorderly conduct with Martyr PD in Clayton County. That was a conviction. He received 12 months suspended sentence December of 2021. Record also indicates the defendant is currently on probation in Fulton County for shoplifting, theft by shoplifting, case 18 SC 159227, sentenced August of 2018, 4 years probation. Additional theft of shoplifting.
I'm not on probation.
Hold on, Mr. Posey.
Case number 18 SC 157263, also 4 years probation, sentenced in 2018. Additional probation for terroristic threats, case 19 SC 165164, sentenced February of 2020, 1 year confinement, 2 years probation. Record does indicate the defendant has 3 failure to appear and 6 violations of probation within the past 10 years. A 2020 simple battery, that was no pros, and a 2018 criminal trespass. Nothing further to that.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Garrison. I appreciate it. What were you saying, Mr. McLean? I'm sorry.
Oh, if I could have just a moment, Your Honor, let me do this. Let me get back on the Zoom. There we go. I do want to make sure, I've talked to him before, Your Honor, I do want to make sure he totally understands and is completely in agreement with everything that we thought we were in agreement with. So if I could do a breakout room with him, I would appreciate that.
Breakout room.
All right, let me, before you go into a breakout room, Mr. McLean, Ms. Duncan, could you tell me the facts of this case?
Facts of this case, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, in this case, officers responded to a fight in progress at 635 Lindbergh Drive, which is a Texaco. When they arrived, they were met by the store clerk, Mr. M.D. Safal Islam Khan. Mr. Khan told the officers that early in the morning, a man had came inside the store. He attempted to steal wine, beer, and food. Mr. Khan said that this man took items. He took the items from the man, and the man became irate, which is the defendant in this case. Unknown to, he began making several threats to Mr. Khan, and he followed him behind the counter and struck Mr. Khan in his throat with his hand, and then he walked outside the store, continuing to yell racial obscenities at the clerk and telling him to come outside and that he would kill him. Mr. Khan let the officers at the time know that this was not his first time dealing with this individual and that he often enters the store and takes items without purchasing them. Mr. Khan did give officers a picture of this gentleman, and officers were able to locate him and place him in custody.
All right, thank you. So can we, let me first see, who do we have in courtroom 2?
Hey, Judge, I still got two more cases.
Oh, you still have, well, if you go into a breakout room with Mr. McLean, I'm just trying to see if I can go to courtroom 2 and do somebody else.
We hear you, Your Honor. Position number 20, Mr. Carlos Meyer.
I go on and take it.
I'm going to talk to you in the breakout room, Mr. Posey.
I go on and take it, McLean.
Mr. Posey, let's not talk in front of everybody. Let's talk in private.
Yeah, send that link to
Who represents?
I do, Your Honor. I'm ready.
Okay, so we're going to put Mr. McLean and Mr. Posey in a breakout room. Mr. McLean, given what I've heard, if he does the 120 days. He's already done 14. He's going to have to do the anger management, but I'm not going to require him to do 100 hours of community service, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank
take
you, Your
it.
Honor.
I'll take,
I'll mention that to him.
I'll
All
take,
right. Hold on, Mr. Posey. I want you to talk with Mr. McLean first so that we can make sure you understand, okay? So we're going to put you in a breakout room. All right.
am I,
So hold on right there. Mr. Mayor, good morning. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Mr. Long?
Is the Spanish interpreter there? Is she?
I'm sorry, I was muted. I apologize.
Oh, that's fine. I didn't realize that you were done with your other case.
He
I had
didn't.
this,
Yeah,
Could-
yeah. I
could
think
you
the other
please-
gentleman didn't need an interpreter.
Okay,
this-
so does Mr. Mayor need an interpreter? Mr.
He
Meyer?
does, yes.
Okay, go ahead, Madam Interpreter. Did you get? Oh,
Could you please repeat the swearing in, Your Honor?
that's fine. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Usted jura que la declaración que dará ante este tribunal será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad ante Dios?
Sí.
I do.
okay.
Long?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
So this will be a negotiated plea,
Esta va a ser un convenio declaratorio,
12 months to serve, count 1,
12 meses a servir para el primer cargo,
in case number 22 CR 000054Y,
en el caso 22 CR 000054Y,
for driving without a valid license,
por manejar sin licencia,
will be confinement 30 days,
encarcelamiento de 30 días,
credit for time served 15 days,
crédito por tiempo servido 15 días,
balance suspended,
y el resto de la condena se suspende.
and the condition would be no driving without a valid driver's license.
Y la condición será no manejar sin una licencia válida.
Count 2, failure to obey stop sign,
El cargo 2, incumplimiento de obedecer y no detenerse ante una señal de pare,
will just be time served,
será tiempo servido,
credit for time served 15 days,
y crédito por tiempo servido 15 días,
concurrent.
para servirse de manera concurrente.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, we would ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated.
Su señoría, pedimos que se acepte la declaración como se ha negociado.
We will stipulate to a factual basis as well as venue and ID.
Can you repeat that, Mr. Coleman?
We will stipulate to a factual basis as well as venue and identification.
Vamos a estipular la jurisdicción y por identificación.
Mr. Mayor, I understand that you wish to plead guilty to driving without a valid license and failure to obey a stop sign. Is that correct?
Señor Maya, yo entiendo que usted quiere declararse culpable ante el cargo de manejar sin licencia y el cargo de por no detenerse ante una señal de pare. ¿Es eso correcto?
Correcto.
Correct.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
¿Está bajo la influencia de drogas o alcohol hoy?
No.
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Usted ha sido representado por un abogado. ¿Está usted satisfecho con los servicios de él?
Sí, sí lo estoy.
Yes, I am.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Entonces, usted entiende que usted tiene el derecho de ir a juicio por jurado, pero al declararse culpable, usted renuncia a ese derecho y no irá a juicio, ¿entiende?
Sí, lo entiendo.
Yes, I do.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
¿Hay alguien que lo haya forzado o coaccionado para hacerlo, declararse culpable?
No.
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, sir.
Yo le acepto esta declaración como un convenio declaratorio. Mucha suerte para usted.
Gracias.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, señoría.
Okay. Do we need Madam Interpreter for any other cases today?
I don't think so.
Position 10 was possible interpreter case.
No, he said
Okay.
he doesn't need an interpreter.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate your service today. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Okay, so are we going to go back to Mr. Posey?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And what's the announcement, Mr. McLean?
We've gone over everything again, and we appreciate the dropping of the 100 hours of community service, and he would like to stay with that.
Okay, so he understands it's going to be 120 days, credit for time served 14 days.
Yes.
Mr. Posey,
Yes.
it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to simple battery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm going to accept your guilty plea, Mr. Posey. The sentence is going to be 12 months to serve, 120 days, credit for time served, 14 days, balance probated, no further contact with Mr. Khan, stay away from the Texaco at 635 Wimburn, and 12 weeks of anger management. I am going to waive your probation fees while you're on probation. And once you complete the 12 weeks of anger management, it's going to go to a non-reporting status, okay?
All right.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Posey.
So when do I get out?
Mr. McLean.
In 46 days.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, next at 22.
Position 22. This is Mr. Molden.
Yes.
Who's representing Mr. Molden?
Sir?
That's not for you, Mr. Molden. Hold on. Mr. McLean, is this your case?
No, that would be my case, Your Honor.
Okay. And it's going to be a non-negotiated.
That's correct.
Good morning, Mr. Molden. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have the case heard by video? Yes. Was that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. First, Ms. Harrison, can you give me Mr. Molden's history, please?
One moment, Your Honor. Chassis indicates 18 cycles. One moment. Last arrest was April of
Understood.
2020.
I know he has a record, but you know, in the 432 hours.
Mr. McLean, you're not on mute anymore. Thank you. I'm
Sorry.
Mr. Wilson. Go ahead, Ms. Harrison.
Last arrest was April of 2021, driving without a valid license in East Point, Georgia. No disposition listed on that arrest. 2019 misdemeanor conviction, disorderly conduct. A 2018 simple battery, family violence was no pros. And a 2018 simple battery in Clayton County misdemeanor conviction. He has a failure to appear in 2018 and a probation violation 2012, cruelty to the children, misdemeanor. He received first offender and it was sealed 2018. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Harrison. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. Did you sound the case number, Your Honor?
No, I did not. And if you'll also give me the facts, since this is not negotiated. Please.
Okay, this is case number 22 CR 00004E. The charge is 1 count of battery, family violence, and 4 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. In this case, in particular, the victim is a Miss Jessica Glass, who is the parent of the same child of the defendant and I believe the wife. In this case, the police were called to a location in reference to a disturbance. The police arrived at this location and they were greeted by Miss Glass when she opened the door. She had a busted lip and a bleeding mouth. She initially advised officers that everything was fine, but upon the officer's insistence to check and make sure everything was okay, she let the officers into the room. And once they were in the room, she signaled to the officers behind them that she needed help and that she was afraid of the defendant. The defendant was in the room. He was sitting on the bed. He had elevated breathing and was sweating. There were 4 children present, ages 7, 9, 10, and 11. The officer stated that they appeared to be scared and glassy-eyed from crying. The report also indicated that he has been arrested 4 times by various agencies for battery, family violence, and issues with cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. In addition to what pretrial has stated, he's been arrested for a simple battery in 2008 and battery, family violence, and false imprisonment charges out of Fulton and Clayton County as well. This is actually not his first incidence of violence with this same victim. There was another incidence of violence with this same victim in 2000, and there's a warrant for it. This was 2000 and back in 2017, and police were called at that time to a disturbance at the location 845 North Central, which is the same location for this incident in reference to a disturbance. And the victim was again Miss Glass, where he had grabbed her shirt and ripped that shirt. She actually yelled for the kids to come and help her try to defend herself. So they jumped on the defendant in this case, and he knocked them off as well and began punching her in the face. And
Yeah, I'm going to object at this time. That matter is not before the court. Please put your hand down, Mr. Molden.
And continued to assault her. However, because of these facts and the violent nature of these offenses, we are afraid of the risk to reoffend for this defendant, as well as the intimidation of the witness, as well as being a flight risk. In addition, Your Honor, we are seeing the cycles of violence play out, and we're particularly concerned about the safety of this defendant because our victim advocate spoke to this victim, and the victim is initially minimizing the situation. She's stating that she's not afraid of the defendant and that her and the defendant were just arguing and someone else heard them and called the police. She states that she is pregnant, and she stated that he had not been violent towards her before. However, we know that not to be true. She wanted the charges to be dropped, and because he has the rent money for the room that they were living in. But due to the violent nature and the seriousness of the repeated offenses against this victim, the state is recommending for the first count, battery, family violence, 12 months to serve, 45 days, credit for time served, 18 days, stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Jessica Glass. Third-party contact for the children only after a parenting class. We're asking that the balance of the probation be probated, that he attend a family violence intervention program, 80 hours of community service. And for each count of cruelty to children, the state is recommending that the balance be probated, and that he also do 10 hours of community service to run concurrent for each count.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan. Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, listening to Mr. Molden's record, I believe the only conviction that I heard for violence was back in 2018. We have no objection to the sentence proposed by the state except for the additional time to be served, which I believe is an additional 5 days. The reason I'm asking that Mr. Molden be released today, after interviewing him at the jail, he told me that he is a father of a special needs child, age 7, by whom the alleged victim in this case is not the mother. He is the primary caregiver for that child. The reason I would like him released is so he can, again, care for this special needs child.
So, the special needs child, I've got one 7-year-old that's, okay, let me start. Are any of the children that are here for the 3rd degree cruelty charges, are any of those Mr. Molden's children?
I believe one of them is, but the special needs child I'm referring to is not one of those children.
Okay, so he has one biological child with Ms. Glass.
Yes, 2 children with Ms. Glass.
2 children.
Yes.
Okay. And then he has another child that's the special needs.
Correct.
Where does Mr. Molden reside?
He resides at 1760 Laurelwood Drive here in Atlanta.
And Ms. Duncan, I did not hear where the stay away is from.
The stay away would be the incident location, which would be, Your Honor.
Okay. Does he have a job, Mr. Coleman?
Yes, Your Honor. He's currently employed at Sutherland Foods. He's worked there for the last 4 months.
Okay, so according to our records, I believe this is where the victim resides, 845 North Central Avenue, Hateville, Georgia. I believe that's a hotel. As far as I can tell, that's where she resides.
Okay, and your only objection, Mr. Coleman, is that it should be 12 months to serve 36 days, credit for time served 18 days.
Correct. Again, the reason I would like for him to be released there so he can take care of the special needs child, since he's the primary caregiver.
You have no objection to the rest of the state's recommendation?
No objection.
Okay. Ms. Duncan, anything further?
Your Honor, the state would just like to object to that request. However, he's pleading to cruelty to children and he wants to get out to take care of children. We're concerned about his behavior around children. So therefore, we'd just like it to be on the record that we're opposed to that.
You're opposed to what?
The condition, the changing conditions.
Well, the only change in condition would be that he'd get out today as opposed to in a couple of days. You're requiring him to take a parenting class. You're requiring him to do family violence intervention program. You're requiring him to do 80, 90, 100, 10, 20 hours of community service. So I think that's, that's quite a bit. And the parenting class, if he has a special needs child, was going to help him in that regard also. So I am inclined to go ahead and release him today so that he can start getting the help that that he needs. All right. Anything further, Ms. Duncan, Mr. Coleman?
No, Your Honor. If we're going forward with the plea, I would just stipulate to a factual basis as well as venue ID. I'm not asking that the probation go non-reporting, but I am asking that probation fees be waived.
Okay. Mr. Mulder, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to battery, family violence, and 4 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is that correct?
Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept your guilty plea, Mr. Molden. For the battery, family violence, it's going to be 12 months to serve, 36 days, credit for time served, 18 days, balance probated, no further contact with Ms. Glass, third party contact with your children after a parenting class, the Family Violence Intervention Program, and 80 hours of community service. For each of the cruelty to children, it's going to be 12 months to serve, 36 days, credit for time served, 18 days, balance probated, and 10 hours of community service on each charge. I am going to waive your probation fees while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. All right, anything further on Mr. Molden?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Molden.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, our next position, number 6, Ms. Chicory.
Your Honor, for that position, we would request a breakout because I believe it's a bond hearing.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, you want to do this bond hearing in the breakout room is what you're telling me?
Yes, based on the facts, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, so if we can, Mr. Walker, I take it you want to go in that breakout room? Good morning.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
And is that Mr. Howard too?
Yes, yes, it's mine.
Yes.
Yes.
And Your Honor, we have position number 10, Mr. Jesus Diaz in front of you now, courtroom 2.
All right, so we've had a discussion. Is Ms. Chokery there?
Yes, sir.
We've had a discussion. It's going to be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial with the conditions of no further violent contact with Mr. Chokery and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay?
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Who do we have next? Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
30.
Position
Mr.
30.
Pendergrass,
30.
that's a bond request.
Okay, and we need to, he needs to be arraigned.
We can waive the formal reading. I've shown him the accusation. We've been over it, and we'll make sure that within 10 days, either I or somebody assigned to the letter at the end of the case number will file entry and motions.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Pendergrass. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, and good morning.
Good morning. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hands out. Mr. Pendergrass, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000009F with theft of service. This charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. It's my understanding, Mr. McLean, that you're waiving formal reading of the accusation. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pendergrass, how do you plead to this charge? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
It's my understanding that you're going to plead not guilty today. Is that correct, Mr. Pendergrass? Say it again.
We're here for the bond request, Mr. Pendergrass. If you want to plead guilty, I can sign up the paperwork and you can do that.
Not guilty, I apologize.
All right, we'll record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you will receive notification of your next hearing date. I gave him this bond of a $500 good bond
Right.
back on January 3rd.
I have talked, Your Honor, with his girlfriend's sister, who's now, she would have been able to make the bond for him, but for the fact that she's gone to Florida for a while. His parents are his grandparents rather, are in North Carolina. His grandmother's in the hospital. I talked to his granddaddy. The bonding company has to have somebody in Georgia to sign a bond. He'd actually be better off with a $100 cash bond than he would with a $500 bond because he's been in for 18 days. And the way I calculate it, it works out to about 10 cents per hour.
Can he make a $100 cash bond, Mr. McLean?
I think he can. I think he can make a $100 cash bond, but somebody has to send it to the sheriff.
He says he can't make a $100 cash bond.
Can't even make that. That's the reason why, Your Honor, we are asking for a signature bond. It's been 18 days. This is a $45 dispute. And I refer to it as a dispute in quotations because he was not in any way intending to rip off a cab driver by not having the money on him. He hadn't gone to the third location. He would have been able to pay him. So I think it's time for us to quit wasting our money, feeding him and housing him. He's lost his job. He can get another. He's about to lose his property. A signature bond really would be in order.
Your Honor, if the state could just be heard momentarily, in this case, we would oppose any change in the bond amount due to the defendant's history. He has a prior theft by taking, which we consider him a flight risk because he does have an FTA for that case from March the 2nd of 2021. That was also a theft by taking. And in this case in particular, the defendant, they waited at the location and he called several friends, one to bring him a bag and another one that was supposed to bring him some money. Another one was supposed to cash out. But apparently he made all these requests, but this cab driver never actually received his money. So the state is not inclined to believe that he did not have the intention to rip this cab driver off. And as we're seeing from his history, he has a history of theft offenses, and the state thinks that this is an appropriate penalty to help this defendant not commit those types of offenses and learn from his mistakes.
I lose everything.
Hold on, Mr. Pendergrass, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You know, this man's been in custody for a $45 dispute for 12 days now. I'm gonna give him a signature bond. $1,000, you take this down, Mr. McLean, because you're gonna have to get this modified.
Yes.
All right, $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Morella Taxi. I think that was a taxi that he took.
Right.
And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Got it. Yes, that's the existing condition as well. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah. All right.
I'll come down. I'm at the 100 Peachtree building. I will come down there and grab a form.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Pendergrass.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Position number 10, Mr. Jesus Diaz.
This is going to be a plea.
Yes, Your Honor. He's the fellow I keep saying he's got enough English to get through this, and hope I'm right. I think he does.
Good morning, Mr. Diaz. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
We ain't got no colors, but I'm gonna need those for Mr. Mina.
Mr. Diaz, did you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
All right. Can you raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Long?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is case number 22 CR 000015C, a charge of obstruction of law enforcement officer. Our negotiated plea is 12 months to serve, confined 30 days, credit for time served 18 days, balance probated, stay away from 199 Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta, which is a grocery store. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons, 60 hours of community service, drug, alcohol, evaluation treatment. Thank you.
Mr. McLean?
Yes, that is a negotiated plea, and we ask the court to accept it. We would ask the court to also waive its probation fee of $49 a month, because there will be some expense to him involved in this. Let's see if I can. The ADET will cost a pretty penny for the evaluation. The least expensive one he can get about $100 over at AACS, and there are other providers as well. And he understands about the community service. We would ask the court to terminate his probation upon completion.
All right. Mr. Diaz, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
No, sir?
Yes, sir.
Nobody's forced you to plead guilty, have they?
No.
Okay. I'll accept the negotiated plea, Mr. Diaz. I'm going to waive the fees while you're on probation to help you get and stay on your feet. And once you complete the terms of the probation, it will terminate, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Diaz.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
We done, Diaz. Y'all, we got position number 37, Mr. Michael Sims. His attorney's online, Mr. Carrington Matthews.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Matthews. How are you today?
Doing well. Happy New Year to you.
You also. What are we doing with Mr. Sims today?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that Mr. Sims is the alleged victim in the case. I'm not certain if she's available, if she's on the calendar, if she's on the call, and whether or not she was still intending to prosecute this matter. I think it arose from an argument between these people, and then the police came out, and Mr. Sims was arrested based upon an allegation that he may have had some alcohol in his system. So I'm not sure if there is an alleged victim in this case or if this is a officer-driven case at this point.
Well, I don't think that the state is going to drop the charges at this point in time. This is a plea or an arraignment calendar today. So, Ms. Duncan, would you like to speak to that?
Yes, Mr. Matthews, I believe I emailed you this morning, the state's plea recommendation. There is an alleged victim in this case. How would you like to proceed?
Can I have a moment with either to call ASG Duncan or be sent to a breakout room?
Okay, we can send you to a breakout room. Who is we got someone in the South Annex. Is this your case, Ms. Duncan, or not? Do we know?
This 37. This is my case, Mr. Sims.
No. I mean, who do we have in the South Annex?
Position 14, Ms. Hagan.
No, that's not my case.
Okay, so let's put Ms. Duncan and Mr. Matthews in a breakout room.
And Mr. Walker as well, please.
Okay, and Mr. Walker, and we will go to the South Annex.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, no problem. Again, tell me, who do we have at the South Annex?
Position 14, Ms. Hagan. This is our last one, Your Honor.
Okay. And what are we doing? Who represents Ms. Hagan? Mr. Coleman, is this your case?
No, it is not, Your Honor. I believe it's probably Mr. Howard's.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Howard, are you there?
Your Honor, I'll make sure I'm calling Mr. Howard.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll send him a chat as well.
I apologize, Judge. I was multitasking. Who do we have?
That's fine. Position 14, Ms. Hagan.
Okay, Ms. Hagan, yes.
And what are we going to do with her today?
So we did make an offer in the case or a recommendation, Your Honor, but I'm not sure if the defense is accepting it. They had made a counteroffer. We were not accepting their counteroffer.
Judge, I did speak with Mr. Walker this morning, and we're going to go with the state's offer. I had spoken with my client about those issues. So Ms. Hagan, we'll be entering a plea to the DUI alcohol and drugs, and then they'll merge the DUI alcohol less safe, what it ultimately ended up being, okay? Remember we had talked about that. All right, so yes, Judge.
Okay.
Okay, so they're gonna be pleased to count 2, driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, count 3, failure to obey traffic sign, count 4, driving without a valid license, count 5, giving a false information to law enforcement officer.
Count 6 was NOD.
Okay, and
Count 7.
Expired tag.
Yes, Your Honor. May I announce the full recommendation?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the defendant would plead guilty to count 2, 12 months to serve, confinement 36 days, credit for time served 36 days, balance probated, $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, risk reduction program, drug and alcohol evaluation treatment, MAD impact panel, no drugs or alcohol. Count 1 would merge into count 2, and count 1 was driving under the influence less safe. Count 2 is driving under the influence alcohol and drugs. And then counts 3, 4, 5, and 7 would just be credit for time served 36 days. And all of those would be concurrent with each other. And I'm not sure if we announced it's 22 CR 000058A.
Mr. Howard?
Yes, Judge. That's our understanding of the plea. We'd ask that you accept the plea as negotiated. We stipulate the venue and ID. We would ask that she's going to have to deal with another matter once she is released from Fulton County custody. We would ask that the $300 fine be converted to 30 hours of community service, given what we know about her financial state. Also, we'd ask that some of the probation fees be waived, maybe 6 months of probation fees be waived to give her an opportunity to get on her feet financially, to pay that. But those would be the additional considerations that we'd ask, Judge.
Okay, I am gonna have to log off and log back on because for some reason, my video has gone off and I can't get it to restart. So I'll be right back with you all.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Ms. Hagan, it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, failure to obey traffic signal signs and markings, driving without a valid license, giving false information to a law enforcement officer, and expired tag. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the guilty pleas as negotiated, Ms. Hagan. I'm going to waive the fees while you are on probation to help you get and stay on your feet.
Thank you, sir.
Is there a request regarding probation once the terms are completed? Mr. Howard?
Yes, Judge. If she completes all the requirements in advance of 12 months, Judge, we'd ask that it be non-reporting since it's a DUI case.
Okay. Any objection to non-reporting, Mr. Long?
I think I would object, Your Honor, just based on the facts of the case. We feel that she should remain on probation for the full term.
She's going to remain on probation, but I'm going to let it go to non-reporting once she completes the terms. Good luck to you, Ms. Hagan.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, who do we have in courtroom 2? Oh, thank you, Officer Milton. Does that complete your business?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, we'll see you this afternoon.
Okay.
All right.
We're still waiting for position 37 attorney and everyone else to come back from the breakout.
And this is the last person in courtroom 2.
It's the last person, Your Honor.
Do we have anybody anywhere else? I've got a couple more people that we haven't taken care of on the calendar. Let's go ahead and Mr. Howard, are you still there?
Yes, Judge.
Can we go ahead and do position 1? I think
Sure.
that you've waived her presence, is that right?
That's correct.
Bond hearing.
That's correct.
You prepared to go forward with that, Mr. Long?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Nancy, the bond. Thank you. Okay, so I set this bond a $3,000 good bond back on January 4th. Mr. Howard?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Ailes has been in custody now, Judge, I believe a total of about 15 days. She was picked up on a new offense. However, she tells me that she actually called the police in that case. It's involving the same person that this particular case is involving. She indicates they ultimately arrested her because she was so upset once they got there that they determined her to be the aggressor because she was still very upset about him putting his hands on her when the police arrived. So she was ultimately taken to jail. Judge, she currently has no bond on those felony charges. She is a lifelong Georgia resident. She was working for Crooked Wireless, which is a place that repairs cell phones in West End Mall. As a sales associate, she had been on that job for about 2 months. She attended Penn Foster High School here, finished up on an online school here in Atlanta to finish her high school education. Her greatest concern, Judge, what she was very, upset about when I met with her the other day was her 2-year-old child that she's been away from, that she obviously wants to be able to get back to. At this point, we really don't know, but on the felony charge, when she might actually even have a bond hearing. So that's the unfortunate part for her. But on this particular case, Judge, we would ask the court to consider that $3,000 bond that's currently set of converting that to a signature bond through the jail. I believe pretrial came off of that bond once she was picked up on this new case. But again, Judge, she may be looking at quite a while before she would even have an opportunity to address bond on the felony charge. So we'd ask the court to consider a signature bond on the simple battery.
Mr. Howard, I'm going to let her deal with the felony charges. You can bring her back once she deals with the felony charges, and I'll reconsider a modification of this. But I think that she probably has bigger fish to fry right now, and I'll bring it back for a modification if necessary at a later date. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
So
Judge.
we'll let this bond stand for now. Okay. So we're back with Mr. Matthews.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Yes, Your Honor. So I had an opportunity to speak with ASG Duncan and ASG Walker regarding Michael Sims. We're going to maintain our plea of not guilty at this time. I did receive a recommendation that my client is not willing to accept today. He does have a bond on these charges, so our plea at this time is not guilty.
Okay, so we normally, do you want to waive arraignment and get us the paperwork for that, or would you just prefer to me to arraign him at the present time?
You can get me the paperwork, Your Honor, whatever is more convenient. It sounds like what's more convenient for the court is we did it right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, that would probably suffice. So let's just go ahead and arraign him at the present time.
No worries, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Mr. Sims, again, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar. We are conducting this calendar by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Sims? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
All right, you can down. Mr. Sims, you've been charged in case 21 CR 002380G with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Mr. Matthews, do you waive formal reading of the accusations?
Yes, we waive formal reading of the accusations, Your Honor. We're in our plea of not guilty at this time.
Okay. We will record the plea of not guilty, Mr. Sims. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you will get notification of your next hearing date. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Sims.
Your Honor, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Get the case number from the court.
The case number is 21 CR 002380G.
G as in girl.
That's correct.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right. Anything further?
That's it, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes. Have a good day.
You too, sir.
Thank you. Let's see. Courtroom 2.
Yes,
position number. I still have position 6. Oh, do we do positions? Yeah, we did position 6. Okay. Position 21.
Position 21.
Your Honor, position 21 was going to be reset jail jury. I don't know if he needs to be arraigned or not.
Well, normally we arraign them at the SAP calendars, and I guess she left. His mother was in the courtroom with us. Okay, all right. Thank you. I don't know if you all heard that, but his mother was here in court with us, and she was concerned because apparently he has not been on his medication and is allegedly bipolar schizophrenic diagnosis. What do you want to do with Mr. Millen then? Mr. Coleman?
I can reset jail jury. In the meantime, I can contact my social worker and have her go out to the jail to assess him.
Okay.
Actually, according to the calendar, it looks like he used to be interviewed by the social worker anyway.
Yes, reach out to her. I believe she's already spoken with him from what I understand. So Daryl, you can reach out to Miss Williams.
Okay. So does that cover it? Does that cover everybody? Okay. Thank you, Courtroom Two. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next time. I have Ms. Middlebrooks in the court with me today. If you have not gotten her your paperwork, if you go ahead and do that as soon as you can after court so that she can get it to me. And as soon as she is ready, we will go over the calendar. So, used to seeing Mr. Ford on this calendar. He's not here today, I take it. And I'm also used to seeing so
yes.
we're gonna have different people at the SAP calendars.
Yes, just actually Ms. Helen and
Helen, right.
Mr. Finling are both in training this week, which is why they're not here. And right, Mr. Ford has actually been moved to Judge Porter's trial division. So
okay, very good.
Yes.
I want to miss Mr. Ford.
Yeah.
I normally have like 20 non-negotiated pleas. So.
Right.
that are all no-los.
Right. Exactly.
Say it again. I'm sorry. 21. He's reset for jail jury. Mr. Coleman.
Yes, Your Honor.
For Ms. Miller, the one that, what position was that again? 21. Position 21. You're going to file a waiver of arraignment in that case?
I can.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be down at the courthouse this afternoon. Should I just bring it down to G33 or someplace else?
I don't know who's going to be in G30. They're having traffic in here this afternoon, so if you'll just take it, I guess, to the clerk's office.
I can do that. Actually, let me check on my computer and see if I have a waiver on the computer now.
Say it again. No, I think she'd already been arraigned. And Mr. Howard, on position 6, Ms. Chukery.
Yes, Judge. Need to submit an order for that.
You're going to do a waiver on that and also the bond modification.
Yes, Judge. I can send that over.
Okay.
Position number 1 has been waived, with a waiver of arraignment reset for jail jury. Position number 2, waive arraignment, reset jail jury. Position number 3, waive arraignment, reset jail jury. Position number 4, reset SAP for February 15th. Position number 5, same announcement. Position number 6, it was a $1,000 sign-on bond through pretrial. Position number 7, reset SAP February 1st. Position number 8 was released on bond on January 12th, 2022. Position 9, reset SAP January 20th. Position 10 was a plea. Position 11 was a plea. Position 12 was a plea. Position 13 was transferred to the DA's office. Position 14 was a plea. Position 15 has been reset SAP February 8th. Position 16 was a plea. Position 17 and 18 reset SAP January 25th. Position 19 and 20 were both pleas. Position 21, the reset jail jury. Position 22 was a plea. Position 23 was a plea. 24 was a plea. 25 was a plea. Position 26 was a plea. Position 27 was a plea. Position 28 was released. Position 29 was a plea. Position 30 was arraigned. Position 31 has been released. Positions 32, 33, 34 were all pleas. Position 35, 36, and 37 were all arraigned to be reset.
I'm sorry, Ms. Middlebrough, 33 you said was what?
Position 33 was a plea.
That was reset.
No. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
33 should have been reset.
215.
Position 38 was a plea. Position 39 was reset SAP February 1st. Position 40 was a plea. Positions 41 and 42 were pleas.
So Ms. Middlebrough, I got lost after 33. So after 33,
Okay,
what was 34?
After 33, 34, 33 was reset SAP February 15th. 34 was a plea. Positions 35, 36, and 37 were arraigned not guilty and reset jail jury. Position 38 was a plea. Position 39 was reset SAP February 1st. Positions 40, 41, and 42 were pleas.
Thank you.
I thought, excuse me, I thought I had 35 and 36 is reset after the felony review. Is that correct?
After his probation revocation.
Yes.
When we find out about his probation revocation, we'll bring it back up.
Yeah, jury, his bond modification, Judge, you denied it, right? Until after his probation. So he'll still be reset jail jury.
Okay.
All right, anything further?
I'm getting that bond order for you, Your Honor.
All right, very good. If not, thank you all. And I will, I guess see you
Thank you,
next
Judge.
time.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a safe afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Howard, are you there?
I am, Judge.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jordan. Yeah, I apologize, Mr. Howard.
All right, okay.
Mr. Jordan, are you there?
I'm here, Judge.
You know that I think they're having traffic here this afternoon, so I
Okay.
will do the SEA offsite.
All right.
All right, see you then.
Too, Judge.
All right, thanks.